Hi, this is Jacob of JacobLEVideoProduction.com. I am on my phone today because I'm going to give a really in-depth guide on how you can be shooting high-quality videos using only your phone. And I'm going to cover lighting and visuals. I'll talk about getting good sound quality, what you can be talking about, how to record it, the different formats. So it's going to be super in depth on all that. For sound, just a little mic like this that's attached to your collar is going to give you so much better sound quality. You can plug it directly into your phone and record it that way. Just make sure you're doing audio tests to make sure the levels are good. Sometimes if you talk too loud, it can distort the audio and make it sound incredibly bad. There are two reasons that a mic like this is going to be much higher sound quality than the built-in one on your phone. The first is it's just a much nicer mic. It's going to have a lot less background noise, be less echoey. It's also a lot closer to your mouth, so the distance away from a microphone makes a big difference as well. It also makes a huge difference with background noise. I have some fake construction sounds going. It's not that uncommon to have really loud background noise like this. And I am switching back and forth. Here is with the phone's built-in audio. And here is with the mic that I have attached right now. Hopefully it will be a huge, enormous difference that can really make or break a video. Sound quality is the most important thing in terms of if people can't hear your message, they're not gonna listen to it, obviously. 99% of the time, it's gonna be completely fine if people can see your little mic. It is possible to just kind of hide it and still have good quality audio. It won't be quite as good, but you can definitely hide it. But for the most part, people are used to seeing mics like this, and it's not going to be very distracting for people. I've got no professional lights right now. I am just right in front of a window. I'll show you a reverse shot there. It's an even lighting source, and you could see the difference if this light is behind me. It's completely blown out, which means the whites are completely clipping. And if I were to expose for the outside, that would just completely throw me into shadow. So just being right in front and setting it based off my face makes an enormous difference. Also, it's a lot worse if you have light directly overhead. I'm going to show you what that looks like right now. And this could be light directly overhead. That is the sun. It could also be inside lights overhead. So right now I have the light directly overhead and it's not a good look. There's a lot of light here and hardly any, especially down here, which makes me look extra tired and kind of sunken eyes. And even if I adjust, you can tap your phone and kind of drag to set it manually, but no matter where I put it, now it's no longer as bad on my nose, but my eyes are just completely dark. So you can see why this isn't a good look. Yeah, no matter how I adjust it. So you run into this if you're shooting at noon or just inside at night and you have lights coming from overhead like they are now rather than at eye level. The best times for outside light, generally 60 to 90 minutes after sunrise or 60 to 90 minutes before sunset. But really those 3-hour windows on either side are pretty solid. If it's noon, the sun's gonna be really strong directly overhead. It's not going to look as good. If you're shooting then, if you can be in the shade and try to have a lot of it behind you in the shade as well, you don't want it to be crazy bright and you're really, really dark. You do want to focus on making your face exposed correctly or the correct levels if it's a choice between having the background way too bright or your face way too dark. But we don't always have control over this, but if you can do it in the last 60-90 minutes, you're going to get an overall better image. You just don't want to run out of sunlight because these phones do not do very well once it gets dark. Here's an example of an area that's just way too dark for my phone, and you can see there's just a whole lot of noise and grain. It's trying to electronically boost the image in post. It just doesn't look very good. Not only does it get really grainy, the image is also incredibly soft. So you want light sources that are closer to you and that provide a lot of light, preferably at eye level and not overhead. Here's an example. These were both taken at night close by, but in one example I have overhead lights, and in the other one I have a lamp close by lighting my face. So inside light is a lot more orange, outside light is a lot more blue. Your phone will adjust to the color temperature. So outside light is incredibly blue. My phone has adjusted so it doesn't look crazy blue right now. But if you're mixing the two sources, then you could have part of your face kind of blue and the other part orange, or part of your face normal and it's very orange in another spot. I'll show an example of the two of them mixing right now. Here is really a good example of mixing kind of the blue light with the orange light. I'm like way too orange right now. This is very blue, so it's kind of a weird mix of the two. So if possible, you can either have lights that are the same source as daylight or kind of cover up the daylight and just use lamps so it'll be the same kind of light source, blue or orange. I am making an effort to look toward the direction of the camera, which is right over here. If I look just at myself on the screen, it looks like I'm looking off in the distance, so it's kind of weird. Hey guys, this is Jacob LA Video Production. How you doing? So trying to pick this general direction. I'm holding the phone just around eye level. If it's a lot lower, I just don't think that's as flattering as a look. And yeah, a little bit higher, or at least just at eye level, is a much more flattering spot to put it. I'm shooting this way where it's wider than it is tall, 1920 wide by 1080 pixels tall, because this is for YouTube. I would be shooting the opposite way if I was filming for Facebook or for Instagram on my phone. Generally, square format works best, or you can actually take up even more space and post 1350 high by 1080 wide. So if I shoot it like this, it's going to look bad on YouTube. Even if you're on your phone, it's going to take up a tiny little bit. But with Facebook, we can have it crop like here and be a little wider than square. Or if we want to post something we've shot to a story, use this entire frame right here. The same is true for Instagram. So it is a little easier to hold your phone this way, and you can be kind of looking a little more at yourself without it looking like you're looking off in the distance. Now, it's good if you can to have both hands propping it up, because otherwise it's just a little bit more shaky. Also, if you kind of press your arms against your body, you can make it a little bit more stable as well, especially if you are walking. And when you walk, it's fine to walk, but just try to do so somewhat slowly. And don't, if I'm walking really quickly, it just makes really seasick. This is with holding one hand and going a lot faster. It's just a lot worse quality. You can see now I've got really harsh backlight. It's blowing out my face right here. So this is a worse lighting setup than we had previously. I think a lot of people get really frustrated when they mess it up for 5 takes, 6 takes, 7 takes in a row and start thinking, oh, I'm really bad at this. I'll never get this. It's really frustrating. Honestly, it takes a lot of practice. Like any skill, it takes a while to get good at. And really, it's just part of the game, sometimes needing to do a whole bunch of different takes. There's little clips of this I've had to do 2-3 times, and the lovely thing is you can just start over. Just get in the right mindset of not getting put down or frustrated. Just recognizing that it's challenging. Speaking eloquently on camera is important. It's completely normal to have to do it a bunch of times. And as you get better, this will actually improve your speaking skills, and it'll make it a lot easier speaking in front of people. And you'll notice your ums and your and improve that over time. So it is an important skill to be working on, and I know that all of you can do it. If you are really, truly terrified of appearing on camera for your very first time, I would highly recommend doing some practice. For 5 days or for 10 days, just record a short video every day. It should take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and don't post it right away. Just get comfortable with the process and used to it. You don't want to wait too long, but it is nice just at the start getting a little more comfortable with the format if you're terrified about appearing in front of more people. So what should you be talking about in your videos? Just think about questions that you get asked all the time. If your customers want to know the answers, a lot of potential customers will want to know these same answers. You want people to form a connection with you. You want to be helpful. You want to be informative. So much of the reason that you want to be creating videos for your business is to be able to form that connection with more people. There are so many scammy, untrustworthy, terrible businesses out there, and you really want to set yourself apart. And those websites are not going to be putting out personal, helpful information for people. So you're going to be putting yourself ahead by being able to create this helpful, interesting, useful content that people are going to love. These can be personal messages as well. You can wish people happy birthday. This can also be content that your existing customers and clients would really enjoy. If you just sold someone a home, tips on doing your taxes or home renovation projects or things like that are going to be incredibly helpful, and it's going to keep you top of mind and in people's memory with positive emotions. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. If you made it all the way, please leave a comment, blueberry pie. This is helpful for me to see who's making it to the end of these. Please subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when I come out with new videos. I'm doing 100 videos in 100 days, and I'm gonna have a lot more content just like this. Thanks again. See you in the next video.